hold up a second. Good day and welcome to a new video. Hey all, and welcome to my new video. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. So we're joined here with Koru-Xypress, who is a illustrator from Indonesia on DeviantArt. And you can check out his page on Koru-Xypress, DeviantArt.com. So here he is.
Hello.
Yeah, so he's joining us today.
Derek.
While I play this, so you can you've got some questions for you today, Koru, and he will have some questions for me.
Yes. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, so this is his first stream. So yeah, you can check out his art and all that. So he's pretty cool. So yeah, today I'm doing a cross between a horse and a dolphin, for a class that I'm taking at the moment, a Terra Whitlatch class. So I'm going to start off
I see.
with asking you, can you tell me a little bit about yourself first?
Well, where do I start? Well, my name is Koru-Xypress. Hello, I am a digital artist from Indonesia. I specialize in 2D digital art, comic art, and I do a little bit of 2D animation in the past, but I haven't been doing that in a long time, so yeah. Right now I am mainly doing anthropomorphic art on both DeviantArt and for Affinity, but I also do human arts and other weird races that clients come to me. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's me.
Yep, that is cool. So yeah, we'll go to my first question. So for the people, if there are anyone on chat who come on, if you guys want to ask questions as well along the stream, you're welcome to. But we'll see how time goes for answering those questions. So yeah, my first question for you, Koru, is do you have a style, and can you describe what it is and how you got it?
Oh, this is a difficult question. I think I have a style, but I don't know how to put it in words. I think it's a mixture of anime and Western cartoons, I guess. So it's not exactly anime, but when you compare to other Western cartoons, it definitely has some anime elements in it, because yeah, like all anime junkies out there, we started out drawing anime. So yeah, I guess that's a way to put my style, I guess.
Yeah, and is that like a thing that you...
How I got it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go on.
Is that like, so you really into anime?
Not anymore. I still watch some anime here and there, but not close to how I did back in the days, because you know, the days with Dragon Ball and Digimon and Pokemon and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, the style lingers, but in terms of watching anime itself, not really. I think I only watch one that I'm still following at the moment. My Hero Academia, and I think that's just about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely we kind of most of us start with like fan art because you know we're fans of it. We want to create what we're used to seeing. Um, hmm. um,
Yeah. I think it's an accumulation of a lot of things that I read and see over my entire life. I mean, I also grew up with Disney animation, like the classical Disney, Aladdin, and things like that. So, um, I think my when compared to other anime styles, my style would have a bit of Disney touch to them, whereas compared to other Disney styles, I definitely have that anime touch. So I'm kind of like in the middle ground.
hmm. Yeah, definitely started out um, wanting to be in this business because I love to look at animation, love to watch it, and for years I wanted to be in the animation business, um, but it's just that kind of field's a bit time consuming for me. That's why I like the 2D standard standalone images more. Um, but yeah, we're going to go to
Yeah.
a question asked by Arena. Um, so where were you drawing a lot of traditional before you got into digital? And how many years have you now been doing digital works?
I started out drawing with pencil mostly. I usually draw comics on my school notebooks. Every um blank space on my textbook, I sometimes sketch on them to help me memorize stuff. So that started out that way. I think I started out drawing a lot during Pokemon years, and yeah, that was the time. And when I started getting really serious about art, I think I started out being serious 2012, so that's 5 years ago. That's when I started opening commissions.
Yeah. Awesome. So you've been doing all sorts of commissions and things. Were you at a professional
Yeah.
at that point 5 years ago? Yeah. How long?
I was. Go on, sorry.
Oh, keep going.
Um, Before that, no, because I was at college, so I've never done any professional work before. I was sort of forced into the professional world because, well, sorry to be a downer, but the reason I started was because my mom passed away, and she's a single mom, so I basically had to find a way to get money. And what was it? Yeah, since I'm still like applying for jobs here and there, and in Indonesia, the design field is not as expansive as in the US, I think. So there aren't many job fields in art. So while waiting for the application, I basically had to find something to do. So I started opening commissions. So that's how it started.
Hmm. Awesome. But how long did it how long did it take to build up your skills to feel like that would be something you want to do?
Oh, that is tricky. I don't think you ever feel bored. I mean,
Mm.
sometimes I look at DeviantArt and there are arts from like people half my age that look so professional, you can't really believe it. And
Yeah.
when I see those pictures, man, I think like I am so underqualified for this. There's so much other people so much more talented than I am, and I think that feeling will never go away because there's always somebody more talented than you.
Mm.
Uh, but I think in my case, it wasn't really a choice because I had to find some way to get money, right, at that point. So if I don't have money, I don't eat, and I can't put gas in the tank, and I can't pay taxes. This was all when I was like 21. So I was like, if people don't buy it, then fine. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So I just open it and see whether people would come to my homepage and actually drop me a note and saying they would buy my commission. And then it turns out that some people actually do, and yay! Then I never stopped doing it until today.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is my third question. Although I've had asked other questions. How do you keep up with commissions and clients' work and keep them happy?
Well, a lot of hard work, definitely. I I often work during my free hours. So since I work from home, I don't have a straight 9 to 5 job. So work hours are flexible, and whenever I'm in the mood, I advance on my commissions. So that helps keep up with the orders. I try to finish all of my orders within 1 month. So it's like a monthly batch thing. And in terms of keeping them happy, well, I hope I kept them happy. But you can't please everybody. I have actually turned down some orders because they were too racy for me. As I've mentioned before, I started out in the For Affinity website, which if you've been there, you probably know that there are some pretty racy things going on there. So yeah, you can't really keep all of them happy. Well, you can try to do your best in everything you do, and I think that is what's important because that shows. And when you do when you give it like 100% in all of your pieces, you may not be able to please everybody 100%, but I can guarantee that you won't leave with like a handful of people happy anyways. So yeah, if you do your best, you won't be stuck in the mud per se. But if in terms of making everybody happy, well, I've had clients that after I've sent the picture, they actually said absolutely nothing and they didn't post the picture in their gallery. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that is a happy client or not.
Yeah, it's so hard for clients because there's so many different people out there, and you gotta be safe as well. How do you deal with that? Like, are these clients?
I'm sorry?
Are these clients like people or they're totally random? So how do you deal with trusting them that you'll get your money, and yeah.
Oh, they are random people. I hardly know any of them in person. I am friends with some of them because I've developed friendship over the years, but most of them are just random users from the website, and well, you kind of learn over time how to deal with different sorts of people. Some people are very hospitable. Some people are less much so. You kind of learn how to maneuver your way and get a feel of, oh, this is that kind of client, and oh, you're that kind of client. All right, so in time, you have this experience of dealing with different kinds of people. And what was the second half of the question?
Forgot now.
Sorry.
Like, yeah, making
hold
sure.
on. What was it?
Making sure you get your money, and yeah.
Oh, right. In terms of that, well, I have a policy of always accepting money up front, so I don't have that problem. Because basically, if I haven't got the money, that means I would not put the client's name into the slot. So yeah. Because I've actually been there once. I did the pay once the picture is done, or half and half, like a down payment, like 50 down payment, and then another 50 down payment down the road. But in the end, it's really tricky because some people just run off with your art, and this is the internet. You can't really send the police at them. So after that incident, I sort of learned that being paid up front works best, at least for me, and for small projects like this, commissions and such.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, it's a tough process sometimes, and yeah, it comes from experience with dealing with clients. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work, but there will be other clients.
Yeah, there's always clients around the corner.
Yeah.
So go on to my next question. So do you have any goals or ambitions towards your art or your life?
Whew, that is a big question. Well, I do have a goal. I have a personal project of mine called Insignia. It's a fantasy RPG story, sort of like the RPG games we used to play when we were kids. Well, when I was a kid, I play lots of JRPGs like Final Fantasy and Tales and Legend of Legaia and things like that. And so it's a webcomic of mine that I hope would launch, so to speak. Like, this is my baby project. So yeah, that is my hope. In terms of life, well, you can't really think about much, so I'll just leave that up to God.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, and you guys can check that out through your DeviantArt. It's a link to your Patreon on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Check it out, guys.
I've seen it. I had a little bit of a look, and it looks pretty cool. So that's all 2D animated, eh?
Thanks. Yes.
Awesome. And that's all done. That was all done in your like spare time, or when?
No. That was actually my college final project, and they asked me. One of the categories is making a trailer for a TV series, and since I have this expansive lore of insignia that I've been working on since junior high, I thought to myself, "Whoa, why not make something you actually already have prepared?" Because at that time, uh, yeah, things are going shaky in my life, so I needed a quick fix. So I went off with that, and I thought, well, we can hit two birds with one stone, so to speak. So I could make this as my final project and use it as a promotional something later on. So yeah, I went with that. It was a fun project.
And so some of the best projects are quite fun. I remember doing my Junkyard Adventures book,
Yeah.
and yeah, very time consuming though. These big projects.
I know, right?
Mm.
Yeah. It took me a year to animate just 1 minute of animation. So that was something. And when I was making that, it was basically just wake up, have breakfast, enough to sustain me, and then go straight to the computer and then animate all day, stopping only for eating and going to the toilet. And back again, animating till nightfall, and doing that for an entire year.
Yeah, I did it for a 30-second video, and it was due because I think we had 2 or 3 months, and that's about it. It was pretty much like a couple weeks of planning, and then like only about a month to actually animate it. Which in the end he like extended it, and it was a whole 30 seconds, but it was a rotoscopy. So that's when you take a film.
Oh, all right. Oh,
You take a film and you draw on top
I know.
of it.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it was, and I had to do like so many frames every day, and I had to make sure I was doing at least like 100 frames a day to keep up with the schedule. It was really bad because it would end up me having to stay up till like 3 o'clock, only have like 4 or 5 hours sleep, and then get up the next day early to start from 9 AM till keep going till nearly 9 PM every day. And then getting closer and closer to the day, there was always a few frames off, like 20-30 frames, and that builds up over time. So
yeah,
getting to the last week, I could barely, like, I would finish or go on a break or something, and I could barely like walk. Like my whole legs and my body was just aching so bad. I was trying to walk down the street to the shop, and oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. It was feeling like zombie.
Yeah.
I was going on autopilot all the time.
If only there was an auto animate button.
I know, right? That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, my last question here. We'll see how long. I mean, this video's got another 6-7 minutes. So, do you think you have any talent you were born with, or did you achieve this by hard work?
I don't know much about talent. I guess what I am born with is a passion for art. So I think it's part talent in a sense that you need to have a passion for it and also nurture because you have to spend time and practicing and looking at different sorts of materials and things like that. But do I achieve this by hard work? I guess so. I guess yes. My college doesn't actually teach 2D art. I was taught a lot about 3D art and animation, 3D animation. So all of this you see today is mostly self-taught and like reading tutorials online, looking at other artists and copying what they do, trying to glean bits and pieces of knowledge that they share and things like that. In terms of talent, well, whenever I see someone like half my age doing something completely amazing and then they've labeled it like speed paint, done in 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, God, now that is talent. But yeah, so compared to that, I wouldn't count myself as particularly talented. But I definitely worked hard and study a lot to reach where I am today.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with talent. You have to really have passion. Because otherwise, if you've got talent as this wee little 12-year-old or however old you are, eventually, if you're not passionate about it, you'll give it up. It'll just be something you were talented
Yeah.
at, and you can't progress.
Yeah.
without
I
passion.
think yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
I think nurture and studying plays a huge part because, well, in terms of passion alone, I do have passion for singing and playing music. I do have a passion for science, but I never actually put time to learn it to that level. So it never really developed as much as my art today. So yeah, I think nurture plays a big part of it because, well, in terms of I like doing it, I like doing a lot of things, but I am never really good at them. So
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So, when you digitally paint, what kind of programs do you use?
I mainly use Adobe Photoshop. How do you pronounce that? Adobe.
Adobe.
Yeah, but I use Photoshop.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Photoshop's the big one for painting and things.
Yeah, well, I do have several other programs, but Photoshop ends up being my go-to program because you can do a lot of things in just one program. Some other artists tend to use
Yeah.
which also works, but since I do a lot of well, I won't say I do a lot of, but sometimes I do photo editing, like real life pictures, just to touch things up, and it's nicer to have just like one icon on my desktop that I always go to.
Hmm. Yeah. Because you can get caught up in so many programs. It's like
Yeah.
having so many tools that you don't need. Like, you don't need 20 pencils that do the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, this is a teal wet latch course that I'm doing. So this part of the project was crossing a hoofed mammal, which I chose a horse, with something else that you hadn't used before. So I decided to do this dolphin, so cross those two between each other.
It kind of reminds me of that zodiac. What was it? The half horse and the half fish. Was it Capricorn?
Yes, Capricorn.
Ah, yeah. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not quite finished it yet. I'm still like working out a few things for it. Yeah. So yeah, this is part one, and
Let's go.
you guys can check me out when I do make part two and continue this. So yeah, that was Koru-Xypress, also known as Express Illustrations, isn't it? Or Cypress?
Yes, Cypress Illustrations.
Sorry, Cypress Illustrations on Facebook. But there's links all on the down in the description.
Yay.
So we got a couple more minutes to go, but pretty much now I'm just placing the bubbles.
Oh, that's good.
And I've been doing some background stuff for this, as well as just the creature. Just to make it feel a bit more alive, like he's actually in his environment, which is something I'm trying to improve on, because I'm not always, when I started drawing, I was always just inclined to draw just the animal and a little bit of background, but not that well.
Yeah, background gets to every one of us.
Cool. So yeah, that's me. Thank you for joining me today. For you who did join me, or who you have
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So that's me, and goodbye.